All right, so it's time to start working on this guy and see if I can get it back to a glorious solution. Okay, it's putting a lot of pressure on myself, but yeah, let's get started. Howdy, howdy. I'm going to do a one finger wave here because my hands are full here. This is Clara Lawrence. I need to start working on this guy and see if I can salvage it. Now, this is the tumbler that I used with a big silicone mat that had this neat texture. And I used quick coat on it. And the texture looks phenomenal. However, you know, first time using, doing that technique and all that, I did have a lot of holes. So I'm trying to figure out a way to salvage it, and I have an idea. So this is a hit or miss video. I'm not sure if I could salvage it, but we're definitely going to give it a try. But first things first, I got to do some sanding because, you know, top and bottom are looking a little sad. I don't know if I can do anything about the seam. I've been pushing it down while this thing gets to a hard cured stage. And I'm hoping that the next few coats of resin will go underneath that. And it'll probably adhere rather well. But there might be a little bit, it's not too bad, a little bit of a bump. Maybe I can bring that down with a little careful sanding. But we're going to have to give it a try. So, let's get started. All right, I saw this idea. I don't even remember where, but it was a cool thing. This container, I got it off of Amazon. It had these little dividers in it, and this guy was using it for rotary sanding discs. So let's see, we're going to do some tough sanding here. We're going to start off with 100 grit, and I might change it up to 220 a little bit later on. Okay, so this is what I was looking at. I was wanting to make sure that the bottom's nice and flat. I'm not feeling any raised areas. And you notice that there's a little bit of change in height. That's okay as long as the bottom will stay, because you want it to be practical where you don't want this thing to be all like wobbly and stuff. So that's one part. The other part here, same kind of thing here. Make sure the area is clear. I may have to clean up some areas. Well, that was actually cleaned up fairly easy there. And also a heat gun on some spots will make it peel up a little bit easier. Hey, look at that. So anyway, and then what I did here is I rounded the edges a little bit so that way it's not a sharp edge right there. And all my cups, I kind of do them up to the edge, but I have lids and I include straws with them with the intent of an individual using a straw with their cup. And I'll have a little note in there saying, you know, it's better to do that, you know, with a resin cup. Oh, got a lot of traffic going on here. Oh, big old truck. I'm gonna dust this off with a cloth, hit it with some alcohol real quick just to get rid of, the alcohol also helps get rid of particles and also any oils that are left over on my hand. And then we'll get started with messing with these nice little holes and such. I'm going to use some UV resin and some of these guys. Now these are iridescent beads. They show up really, really well when there's a grouping together. In the light, you can see a little bit of shift of, let me zoom in, of blues and a little bit of gold and a little bit of violet in there. So really pretty. So I usually get a lid just so that I can grab these things. And, you know, yeah, fingernails help a little bit with that. And I've got, I'll zoom back out again. This is an LED light meant for like pedicures. So it's a lot wider than it would be for a hand. And it makes it really, really easy to do projects. And I just raise them up. I've got some extra little bitty canvases that I have messed up or something like that, and it works really good for, you know, putting it underneath it and such. So here's basically the plan. I'm going to dollop a little bit of UV resin in an area put a couple beads in place, maybe work in this zone here. For example, like think of it like almost an, I guess kind of the size of a quarter, if you want to call it. So work in all those areas. So I would probably put little dollops in all the little holes and place a bead in each one of them or several. And then in that section there, put it underneath there for probably about, you know, maybe 20 seconds. Enough that it'll hold and you can pull it out and give the bead a wiggle. And if it is still kind of wiggling, give it a little bit, try another 20 seconds. And then you can move and continue on throughout the entire piece. I'm gonna time lapse this because it's gonna take a bit. And I'm not sure I actually said this or not. This is a Just Resin UV resin. So it's in a black bottle. Whatever you do, if you do put this into a cup, make sure your cup is far away from your UV light source when you go to heat it up. Or in this case, make sure you put your cap on just before you heat it up. And that'll help quite a bit. And the other reason why I'm using it today is because it's got a nice little nozzle, and that'll help me get into just some small areas. So, yeah. And Erica at Artist Till Death also carries these guys too. So, I don't know why I just put the lid on it, but I did. All right.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you.
All right. So I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to this. So consider this like being the beads that are smaller than the ones that I actually had. So we're kind of creating our own little mock beads. So I'm using probably too much there. It's a chameleon powder, but it's got a lot of sparkle to it. This is Dalmatian Obsession, and ATD carries this too. As you guys know, I love this. Okay, I'm adding more. I love the chameleon colors, but this one also has a lot of sparkle to it. And with the colors that I'm using on the cup, I thought it would work out perfectly. So I thought it'd be like a little pearl that I'm adding, or at least that's the plan. All right. Now, to dot this is going to be more interesting. I'll put that little UV thing off to the side. Now, ooh, I'm super zoomed, sorry. Dip it in, grab a little bit, and be able to dot it on, that kind of thing, and move it around. I don't know if I'm going to need the pointy end or the rounded end. So, you know, I'm going to just go for it and start with a pointy end. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in. Nope, I didn't make my zoom sound, sorry. Okay. See if this will work. Even super zoomed in, I don't think I'm even on screen. There we are. Being optimistic. So I'm kind of creating these little mock pearls. most of the bigger holes covered. There's tons of tiny, tiny little holes. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my finger and get a little bit of this UV resin, since it's got this chameleon on it, like here, and apply it to my finger. And I'm just going to dust around on some of the areas and catch the texture. All right, this tumbler is set up on my turner, and we're going to give it a clear coat. All right, this guy is still on the turner. This is its second coat of clear resin. What do you guys think? Do you put in the comments below? I got a question for you guys. All right, let me zoom you in. So this is what the cup looks like right now. And all I've done is added 2 coats of clear resin. You can already see some of the texture is starting to level out. Now what I'm debating on, I've got another cup next to me here. Notice how I got a little bit of white that I kind of cloud out. I was thinking about adding a little bit of white to this, so that way the texture is kind of a peekaboo. So what do you think? Leave it clear? Meaning leave it at this clear level, or add some white wispies? Let me know in the comments below. All right, for now, we are done. There you go. All right, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the bell to get notified next time I put a video up. And check out the links in the description below for Artist Till Death. That's where I get all my resin supplies from, as well as my Etsy store. And I'm hoping to put some tumblers up soon. So check that out. And also the Amazon store, where I've got all the links to different art supplies. Click away, I get a tiny bit of commission. We're talking pennies here, but it doesn't change your price at all. Here you go.